Hi guys, and welcome back to World Cup Daily. I've just watched the conclusion to Group E, and we've seen Brazil qualify along with Switzerland. And I was watching the Brazil game, and going into the final games. Obviously we had Brazil and Switzerland on 4 points, and then Serbia 3 points, and Costa Rica already out on 0 points. And it was all about whether it was all on the Brazil-Serbia game. Switzerland were likely to at least get a point against Serbia, which would qualify them. So against Costa Rica, which would qualify them. And it was all about whether Serbia could beat Brazil and overtake them and win the group, or just go through. And watching the Brazil game, you know, they've been criticised in their last 2 games because they haven't really played particularly well. You know, against Switzerland they struggled to really get into any sort of rhythm. Against Costa Rica they were poor for most of the game. They did create some chances, but they struggled to break down that resistant Costa Rica side. Did get the 2 goals eventually, but yeah, watching Brazil, it was a bit frustrating, especially in the first half. But I think I backed them before the World Cup to win the tournament, and I still believe that they will win the tournament. Well, they're still my pick. I haven't really changed gone away from that. If you look at their sort of playing into the tournament, you know, it's always a phrase that is used there. They're getting better as the games have gone along. I think against Switzerland they were very poor. Costa Rica not as bad, and today was probably their best performance. Not a perfect performance, but they did create chances. I'm impressed with how quickly they broke. They pressed Serbia quite high when Serbia did have the ball, and they won the ball back quickly. And the pace that they attacked with was incredible. I've spoken a lot about teams' lack of pace. You know, Germany earlier, but Brazil certainly don't lack that. You know, Willian, Neymar, Coutinho, Gabriel Jesus. It's a very, very quick attacking set of options they've got there. And although Serbia did threaten a few times in the first half, they were all sort of half chances. And I think one thing you can say is they remain very solid defensively, Brazil. And when I look at them this time compared to the 2014 World Cup, they look like a much, much more balanced side. You know, in that World Cup, they were very good going forward, although they did sort of falter near the end of the tournament. But they were pretty good going forward for the majority of the tournament, particularly in the group stage in some of the games. But defensively, they looked all over the place. I mean, as shown by that 7-1 defeat to Germany. But this tournament, you know, they've got a much stronger defensive centre-back partnership. You know, they've got Thiago Silva in alongside who they were very reliant on in that tournament. It was shown when he didn't play against Germany, alongside Miranda, who's much, much better defensively for me than David Luiz. And then obviously they got Alisson in goal, much better than Julio Cesar, although he did look a bit shaky from crosses. But he hasn't really been tested that much in the tournament, but obviously I think he's a very good goalkeeper. And then obviously they got better cover for the defence, better people screaming, and obviously Casemiro is a brilliant player. I think when they get deeper in the tournament and play better attacking teams, they'll probably have to go with Casemiro and Fernandinho. Although I think Paulinho adds something. He's box-to-box player, and he'll get in the box and he'll score goals, as shown by the goal today. Brilliant ball from Coutinho over the top of the defence, and he gets in the end of it, lifts it over the keeper. Very good goal. Brazil probably deserved it in the first half. They didn't create that many clear-cut chances, but they were looking very threatening coming forward. And in the second half, Serbia started the second half quite well, actually. Had a very good chance with Mitrovic's header straight at the keeper. But Brazil sort of started to dominate more, create more chances, and scored the second goal immediately after that good Serbia period. From a corner, Thiago Silva headed it in, and from that moment on, it was just Serbia committing more men forward and Brazil trying to counter, and they did get a few more opportunities. Neymar looked desperate to score. He couldn't get the goal, but yeah, that was one thing. Obviously, the talisman Neymar, he looked a bit, I don't know, a bit off the pace today. Obviously, very good still, but not quite at the level Neymar of Neymar we expect. Obviously, he's just come back from the injury. I don't know if he looks completely fit or if there's something mentally wrong there, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, I still think Brazil are getting stronger. They've got a much better, stronger squad, and they're more balanced. They're maybe not scoring as many goals as they did in that group stage, although I think they did draw a blank against Mexico. But I think Mexico is definitely going to be a difficult game. Mexico aren't going to sit back and absorb pressure. Well, they might, but then they'll they'll be a bit more expansive and they'll try and hit Brazil on the counter. I think that could test the Brazil back four, but I do think Brazil they play some very good football. Even in this game when they weren't fluently brilliant, they still played some very good football at times, and I just think they will be too good for Mexico in that game. Obviously the other game, Switzerland, all they needed was a point against Costa Rica, and Costa Rica looking a bit of a shadow of their 2014 self. They've got quite an ageing squad, you know, Bolaños, Brian Ruiz, some of the key men from that team, Durate. They're a bit older now, maybe a bit past it, and it's not been the greatest World Cup, but they were unlucky against both. They didn't really do much against Serbia, but they were unlucky against Brazil, and they got the point today, but it didn't really mean anything. Switzerland obviously looking Granit Xhaka. I didn't watch that game, I watched the Brazil game, but I heard he had a decent game. He had a very high pass accuracy, and Steven Lichtsteiner, obviously an Arsenal player, I know he's involved in the first goal, but Switzerland looking pretty decent. They're quite good to watch actually. Granit Xhaka keeps things ticking. They've got the flair of Shaqiri, you know, and Bolo, who can come on. It's a decent Switzerland team, and I wouldn't take them lightly. I think Sweden-Switzerland will be an interesting encounter in the next round. But yeah, from this video, I just still think Brazil, I still think they'll go all the way. I think they've got the players, I think they've got the squad, and I think they've got the balance now, and obviously unbeaten in 14 games now. They're really looking like a good side and a difficult side to beat, because they're better defensively and they've got the magic to produce something going forward. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy the video, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I try, my love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.